Hey kids, today we're going to unbox, assemble, and install a Prinsu CabRack, and this is going to be a really long and involved video. So down below I'm going to put links to the different chapters so you can jump. If you don't want to see the unboxing, you can skip that, get right to the assembly. But if you do that, you're going to miss some of the funnier moments, like me trying to wrestle this thing onto the top of my truck by myself. I'm just saying, it's kind of funny. Okay, sit back, grab a beer, hit that like button, tap that subscribe button, and enjoy the video. So we're gonna unbox that, and then I'm gonna put everything together here, and then we're gonna take it over to the garage and install it there. So again, I've got a lot of stuff coming. I'm looking at my little sign here. I've got the cab racks are going on. I've got a light going on. I ordered the Switch Pro switch with the SDHQ panel, which is pretty cool. I ordered a Warfab skid plate, that's coming, and then of course the big thing is the AccuTune suspension. That's going to be King shocks, Icon RXT springs, etc., etc. It's going to be huge. Let's get to unboxing this stuff. Alright, so why did I go with Prinsu? Well, number one, they're owned by CBI and they make really good stuff. It's a really strong rack. It's made out of aluminum, so it's really light. And all of you who have a Tacoma with a short bed, you know you can't fit anything in the back of that bed. When I put my skis in there, I have to put them crosswise. So the struggle is real to use your pickup truck as a pickup truck. I got the Prinsu, the cab rack, and the top rack because they line up nice and flat. There's no baskets, there's no edges on the side. So if I need to haul lumber, if I need to put a rooftop tent, if I need to put whatever I need to put up there, it's a nice flat space. I gotta tell you, man, these things, they weigh nothing. They are so light. And if you're going to be adding weight to the top of your truck, I would make it as little weight as you possibly could. I think we talked about on the last video the rock sliders and the skid plates that I got steel, where I wasn't worried about the weight, and that's because it was set really down really low, where that's just going to lower your center of gravity. When it comes to adding things to the top of your truck, you want them as light as you possibly can get them. Alright, here's the windscreen. Mine has a 30-inch cutout in it. I have a 30-inch Prinsu, 30-inch Baja Designs light that's going to go in here. More padding. Big bag of hardware. All your crossbars. Something you need to know about the crossbars is you'll see these little slots cut out on either end. Right, they all have them. Those need to go up so that you can put eyelets in there and secure stuff. So that's how you know up from down. And then the ends are tapped for the screws. One bad thing about the Prinsu racks is they don't come with any instructions. There's no instructions in the box. Right? There's no instructions in here. But it's pretty straightforward, other than when you actually mount it on top of your cab. There's a bunch of videos out there. There's a couple different ways to do it. I'm going to be doing it the drill the hole in the trim method, but you'll see that. Cab rack mounting kit. Cab rack mounting hardware. Wind deflector hardware. Ooh. Tie down ring package. And then this is all the hardware to put all the cross braces on. Alright, so once you get everything laid out, step 2 is going to be taking this little bag of hardware, and here, I'm going to show you what's all in here. Alright, so you've got all the bolts, you got the washers, and then you have all the lock washers. Washer. The lock washer, right? So it looks just like that, with the washer on the bottom, the lock washer running through the bolt. So go ahead and make up all of those. So a quick word about these screws. They are Torx head. They're not Allen's. So they take a Torx bit. I believe this is a T30. Yeah. Alright. You can use an Allen head bit on them. It'll fit. It'll kind of work, but it'll be a little sloppy. And if you really torque on that, you're going to strip the outside of all the little points. So make sure you have a T30 bit to put these on. Alright. I've got everything kind of laid out the way I want it. Alright. Got all these. The crossbars are ready to go. The sides are there. They got all the screws. The silver one you're not going to put on yet. You're going to put that one on last because we have to attach the wind deflector to it. These are all laid out. Notice they're all laid out with these, right? The slots are all facing up, so don't put any on upside down. That would suck. This back one, if you remember, this back one is going to go on vertically, like so, instead of like this, so that it clears your shark fin antenna right there in the middle. And this one has slots on it as well. So now I'm going to put all these on, and when I screw them in to start them, I'm going to do it by hand on all of them. If you put them in cross-threaded and just, you know, stick your drill driver on there and go to town, you're probably going to cross-thread a couple, and it's going to make you sad. You're going to have to retap the holes. You're going to swear a lot, and it's just not worth the time. So go ahead and hand start all of them, and then go back around with the drill driver or whatever you're using. I'm using this, I don't know how old this thing is, 20 years old, that 20-year-old drill driver. And I'm going to set the torque setting pretty low. So I don't want to torque them all down really, really hard just yet. I'll save that for the last step, okay? So that's how I like to do it. Lay everything out so it's where it needs to be, and then get to town. There you go. That was so fast you'd almost thought I'd worked at IKEA before. Alright, now for the next bag of stuff. We're going to put the wind deflector on the front. So you're going to grab a wind deflector hardware package. And this has, I'll dump some of these out. These are actually Phillips screw heads. Lock washer, just like before, a regular washer before, and then these have these little T-nuts. And if you look at it, I'm hoping it shows up on the video. One side has a raised edge and one side is flat. The raised edge, when you put this, it's actually going to go on the back side of the wind deflector, but I just want to show you, if you try to put it in with the raised edge out, or with the flat side out, it won't actually fit. I hope you can see that. Right there it says Prinsu. That's going to be in your upper left hand. Let me switch this around so it makes sense. So my truck's back there. This is upper left, right? My truck goes that way. These all go in these little holes here. So let me do one as a close-up. We're going to take a bolt, stick it through, and then on the back side we're going to put this on, the T-nut on so that that raised edge is sticking out. Okay, and then you've got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 of these guys to put on, but put them on super loose, like half a thread at the most. You want lots and lots of room in there, because now we have to slide that on once we get these on. And there you go. Now you have the end nice and flush. All right, now we're going to put it on the rack. I've seen some other people who have put the silver bar on with the rest of them. They did that first. I don't know that it matters. The aluminum opens up pretty easily, so I mean, if you want to, you know, just kind of stuff it in there. I'm going to do it. That's the way I'm going to do it. And then you'll see if I can get in here. Get all this crap out of the way. You see there are 4 holes, right? We're going to use the middle 2 holes. And again, I've seen people put them high and I've put it low. I don't know. We're going to go with the middle holes and see what that looks like. And it's just going to go in the same way that the rest of the crossbars went in, right? We're going to put it in by hand, blah, blah, blah. We're going to tighten it down. I'm going to come back and tighten all these guys down. Yeah, so let's put the wind deflector on. I have no idea what step we're on now, but now is the step where we take it inside, because outside it looks like that. So we're going to do the rest of this inside. Yeah. So the next step is we're going to attach the roof rack to the roof, and Toyota conveniently has installed for you some holes underneath these little pieces of tape. And we're going to pull up this, and we're going to find the holes and mark it. There's a couple ways you can do this. So the holes, right? The holes are right there. You can either cut or drill a hole here and here to match, or you can just cut this off. I think we're going to try to drill it. It looks a little better. It's a little neater. It also takes a little more time. So next thing we're going to do again is we're going to pull this up. Lay that out of the way. There it is. Alright, so there's a hole there. So now we know where the holes are. The next step is I'm going to mark off where there's holes line up. It sits in there like that. So there's a hole. There's a hole. So the basic idea is your roof rack is going to sit on top of these little guys that are in your hardware packs. Then the roof rack will sit on top of that, and then these screws will go down through and will screw into the factory holes just like that, and that's what holds your roof rack up. So that's why we're drilling the holes in this trim piece so that these things can stick up through. We're going to put some silicone down and around these holes to make sure they don't leak. Hold everything in place while we set everything down, and yeah, it should be a piece of cake. All right, so here are our two marks where our holes are going to be. So we're going to drill that out. All right, with a blister bit. And when you flip this over, running through this part here is a little piece of metal that kind of gives it some stiffness. That's got to go out or you'll never be able to drill the hole straight. So what we're going to do is, you can use a Dremel, you can use whatever. I'm going to use a hacksaw, and I'm going to come out, so it's going to be a 3/4 inch hole. Right, 3/4 of an inch. It's going to be a 3/4 inch hole, so I only have to come out a little bit, but I'm going to come out like 1/2 inch either side, and I'll mark that off so I don't mess it up. So I want to come out, I don't know, somewhere out here. Okay, so there's a spot. Come out here. There's a spot. I'm going to cut this off right here using a hacksaw, and it's a pain in the ass, but it's doable. Right, because you're trying to cut rubber first. You get in so far, and now the table's going to start shaking. There it is. Okay, now I just hit the metal. This would be 1,000 times easier if I didn't have to worry about that camera sitting right there. And I hit the camera anyways. Okay, so there's one side. There we go. Alright, take a utility knife. And again, I guess you could use a Dremel for this part too. Let's see, why not? Of course, the fastest way would just be to cut that piece off and not bother to put this back in. So if you look inside, I don't know if the camera's going to pick it up or not. Alright, so now, let me... I messed up my lines, they're still there. Here's the next trick. Give yourself a small drill bit. Mark your, so there's the, I don't know if here, let me redo it. It's kind of hard to see. There's one, there's the other. Drill yourself a pilot hole through. Hold both sides, or sometimes it kind of wants, because it's rubber, it just wants to wrap up around the drill bit. There's one. There's two. So all I really want to do is I want to transfer the holes to the back side. And then grab my poster bit. Alright, and make sure it doesn't walk too much. Now you gotta hold both sides, it'll try to wrap up around that drill bit. Alright, so there's one hole. They're never going to be perfect. It's rubber. Just take a utility knife and slice it up. So there's one hole. There's the other hole. And make sure it stays mostly centered. See it drifting? There we go. Right, so there's your two holes. And like I said, that's where these standoffs are going to fit in there. Now try to be as precise as you can, but right, it's rubber. So they can still move around a little bit. Alright, now to do all the rest. You're going to need some silicone. And remind me and I'll put a list of all the stuff you're going to need for this job. But you're going to need some silicone, something waterproof. Because remember those holes we poked in the roof? Well, you get up to one of them. Alright, can you see that? Can you see the hole? So here's a screwdriver. So how thick do you think your roof is? Right? So those holes go all the way up into your headliner. Right? So if all you're going to do is put a standoff in there and then a screw, you might end up with a leaky roof. So what we're going to do is when we go to put this whole thing together, we're going to dump some silicone in that hole and around the bottom of the standoff so it doesn't rain on us when it rains. We're going to put some silicone down in the hole, definitely out around in the hole. Right. I think it's important to clean up the holes before you do this. The tape that they put over the holes is kind of soft. So I'm thinking the tape is probably its own seal, but so the next thing I'm gonna do is put these bolts through. Right. There may be a little tugging, there may be a little, oops. Don't forget to clip the back clip in because once the bolts are in, it won't go. Gotta get pushed. There we go. So you'll try to do hand tighten it. It won't actually let you. Here's where I get to see how close my hole drilling was. Always make me nervous when they don't go in easily. If you got to force these things, either you've got glue down inside the hole, not the silicone, but the actual glue from that tape. And there we go. Okay, that makes me happy. So now, the next thing I'm going to do, and this is going to be fun, I think. I'm going to put the roof rack on top, and the slots on the feet of the roof rack are big enough that it'll go on top with these still sitting here. Right, so put the roof rack on, put it on the feet or on the standoffs. The feet will go on the standoffs. And if everything works out right, I should be able to pull a screw out or a bolt out, put the washer and the lock washer on it, put it back in, and not move anything. That's the theory. Not that you actually need a lock washer anymore. Have lots of rags on hand too. Then all you have to do is go around and make sure it's even and tighten them up. And all you need is a 10mm socket. All you need is a 10mm socket. Fuck, where's that thing? So if you're wondering what the difference is, does it matter where you put those? The answer is no. This right now I have it set. Right? That's at its lowest setting. So that anything you put on the top will not hit the air dam, and I think it's low enough that when I put the light on, nothing will hit that either. The middle section, if you put it in those two holes, it makes the top of this even with the top of that. So that's the difference. And I'm assuming if you move it up, it's actually, I don't know, sits a little higher than the rest of the rack. But that's the difference for those 4 holes, if you were wondering. And I know you were. If you liked the video, hit subscribe, hit like. In the comments, tell me what else you want to see. In the meantime, here's our Prinsu roof rack.